Okay, I need to figure out what to say.
You should say. Oh, and.
I mean, I guess this is the first time that anyone online has seen me, well, I guess on my channel has seen me, with my longer hair. It was very short in the last video, and it also wasn't blue, so that's new. Okay, I'm basically just gonna try to say that I opened a bunch of relics from the Season's Beatings prize fight, and they were all pretty shit. And then the ones that I opened off camera, stop laughing at me, I'm gonna... Anyways, the ones I opened off camera were really... Can you shut the fuck up, bitch?
You can't do it.
No. You're literally like 10 years old. You need to stop. I don't abuse him. Anyways, when you have like a shitty relic opening, especially during like an event, you kind of get discouraged and you just open relics and expect nothing good to be in them. Well, I did that, and I got a gold and I believe a gold Cerebella. And I was just going to show that at the end of the video and do a little review on what I think of them. And that's it. So my first gold that I pulled when I was not recording is Time Thief, and I'll put it up here. It is a Ms.Fortune, and her palette is based off of Tracer from Overwatch, and I don't play Overwatch, but I think that the palette actually looks really nice on her. And she is the kind of Ms.Fortune variant that all depends on if you can actually use her headless ability, and I'm not too good at that, so Her signature ability 1 is when landing a hit while throwing your head, Misfortune inflicts death mark for 10 seconds and deals up to 50, 75, or 100% of her attack. And her signature ability 2 is 50, 75, or 100% of the damage suffered while in headless mode is regained when Misfortune recalls her head. So if you go into training and you learn how to use her head, you have a pretty strong fighter when it comes down to it. I hear a lot of people talking about how it feels really satisfying to recall her head and then regain back a bunch of health. So the second gold that I pulled when I wasn't recording was Criminal Mind Cerebella, and I have seen her quite a bit in the Seasons Beatings prize fight. For dark elements in that prize fight, it is very easy to hit them and then get your blockbusters disabled, and Criminal Mind, I believe, has a pretty good signature ability to deal with that. Her signature ability 1 is inflict death mark and gain thorns for 5, 7, or 10 seconds each when either fighter deals at least 10% max health from a single hit. So if you go in with a really strong fighter and you deal at least 10% max health in a single hit, then she will inflict death mark on you and gain thorns, which makes it so where you hit her and you take damage, kind of like the Loch Ness Monster ability that Philia Dreadlocks has. Her signature ability 2 is opponents are inflicted with bleed for 3, 4, or 5 seconds when dashing while suffering from death mark. So once you get that effective death mark and you try to dash at her, you'll get bleed for, up to 5 seconds. I'm not too interested in using her right away. I have quite a bit of the Bellas, but I just haven't invested much time in them whatsoever. I can actually drop a couple of them on the screen real quick to show you my collection. It looks like Criminal Mind has some pretty good stats similar to Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is really high in attack stats. So she's fairly good on the offensive side. On the defensive side of that, it doesn't really look like she's too good. But if you don't know how to play against her when she gets her stacks of thorns, then you could be out of luck if you don't have any healing abilities. Now, another fighter that I got out of one of the ornamental relics is Triple Threat Annie. And Annie's a new variant, so she just came out. And Triple Threat is part of the ornamental relic. So I've heard a lot of people get a couple dupes of her. Her ability is kind of interesting. So, her special ability, like what she relies on for power mostly, is called Star Power. And her SA1 is gain permanent immunity, unflinching, or invincible for 9, 12, or 15 seconds when activating Star Power. And then it also says the permanent buff is removed when exiting Star Power. Her SA2 is 33% chance when using a special move to reset all buff timers and gain 20, 25, or 30% Star Power meter. So it's really interesting because if you don't know how to use Star Power necessarily, then you can't really grasp the concept, and you kind of just you're tapping the button and nothing's really happening too much because it's hard to notice at first. As long as you have a full bar for Star Power, you can click it 3 different times and you can cycle through those 3 buffs, but it just won't last as long, I guess. I think that her palette is really nice, actually. It's very similar to the Star vs. the Forces of Evil one that came out. And I think that she would probably look pretty nice as a diamond, but that's just aesthetic-wise. So another variant that I got that I'm very interested in is the Gangrene Squiggly. And she has a very interesting signature ability that I'm curious to see how will actually work in matches. Her SA1 is squiggly gains blockbuster meter equal to 1, 2, or 3% of her move speed, and her signature ability 2 is gains 1 stack of miasma for, if I'm saying that right, I don't know if I am. Let me see this.
Miasma.
Miasma. Miasma. Gains 1 stack of miasma for 5 seconds every 3, 2, or 1 seconds while not blocking near a dead body. For her, I'm very curious to see how this works because equal to her move speed, filling up her blockbuster meter, I'm not quite sure if that means whenever she's moving or attacking she gains blockbuster meter, kind of like the Toad Warrior Cerebella, but I will have to see how she works. I have leveled her a little bit since I've gotten her. I think it'll actually be pretty powerful through the miasma because if so, she'll gain meter and the miasma affects you in a way that you lose a little bit of health at a time, I kind of believe. So she can charge her blockbusters quickly and drain health. So that might be pretty good. I'm curious to see where that is ranked by the community. That's pretty much it for me. I'm hoping to make another video soon about Rift battles, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this. You can just see my shitty relic opening, but I hope you enjoy the little review I did on the golds that I got when I was off camera.